never give in. Never, never, never.
So we're here at the Helicopter Museum at Weston-super-Mare. We've got a big display from the CART team today, joined by the Scallywags display as well, so there's a very large auxiliary units display today. We've got lots of items here having their first outing for this year. Well, some of the things we've got some new boxes just to try and give an idea of the amount of explosives that we've got. We brought along today 7 of these wooden boxes which contain £20 of either plastic explosive or Noble 808 explosive. £20 represents just 1/15 of the amount that an Aux patrol would have. So we brought along quite a lot of them, and that's still not as many as a patrol would have as their full equipment. We've got a nice section of rail here with one of the fog igniters attached to it. The fog igniter would detonate a charge of explosives to blow a rail line as a train went by. Interestingly, when they were used in Europe, the Germans gained wise to this and actually connected scoops to the front of the trains to lift these off the tracks. So the Germans would have twigged it after a while, but to begin with they might have been very effective. Okay, so new for this year we've got the Sten gun. The Sten gun was standard issue later in the war for auxiliary units. Earlier in the war they used the Thompson submachine gun, but as the war went on they were withdrawn for issue to the commandos. We've also got the Enfield revolvers and the Smith & Wesson as well. Those were standard issue for auxiliary units, with each man getting his own revolver, which was very unusual for a Home Guard unit, and really only officers normally did that. Okay, that was a phosphorus smoke grenade that came out later on during the war. Auxiliary units, each patrol was issued with a full crate of these. There was a bit of a correspondence went on between headquarters and auxiliary units just about just how many of those they wanted. They'd asked to have literally tens of thousands of the grenades, and that was rather more than the home headquarters felt they were deserving of. But in the end they were issued, just showing the priority that auxiliary units got. Here we've got one case for sticky bombs, and as you can see from the illustration they would have held 5 bombs in each case, in pieces to be put together. We know that auxiliary units had not just one of these cases, but would have had 3 of these cases of sticky bombs. We've got an example of the sticky bomb on display over here. So here's the sticky bomb, which was quite unusual. This one hasn't got its sticky covering on the outside, showing the glass case that was within it. During the war that would have been filled with explosives, covered with a net stocking with very, very sticky glue on it and surrounded by a metal case. The case would be removed, taken off, and then you would take the bomb and try and strike it onto an object, cracking the glass and allowing the explosive to start to ignite. So we've got some information on display today about the nearest patrol to Weston, which was the Sandford Patrol. They were a little bit unusual in that they had their operational base inside a mine. This was an underground mine that had been abandoned long before the war, and the auxiliary units took it over. In the photograph you can see some paving slabs on the bottom of the mine which the patrol put in to try and make it easier to work in and out of the mine. The men also practiced in a nearby quarry, and in one of the photos you'll see a lorry being used for practice by the men. This lorry rather suffered from their practicing with explosives and wasn't terribly popular. As it turned out, the quarry was still using it. Okay, and here we have the Wedmore Patrol, which was one of the nearby patrols. I always rather like this photo down at the bottom here, which shows patrol outside the cellar having a glass of cider at the end of an exercise, which I think is probably typical West Country. We've also got some photos of the other nearby patrols. We're quite lucky to have a number of really well preserved bunkers, including the Prior Park bunker that's built into an ice house, again slightly unusual, and then something more classic like the Bedminster bunker, which is a typical Nissen hut structure, and then down at Taunton we've got the escape tunnel, again very typical of the construction with concrete sewer pipes 2 foot pipe that's a bit of a struggle to crawl down if you ever had to have a go at it.